Hello and welcome. Today we're talking about 10 ways in which you can have better off days. We all have those times when we feel like the world is caving in. You just want to lie in bed, hide, not do anything. You feel very unmotivated and things just feel cloudy. How can you actually have a better, healthier, more nourishing time during this time? I'm not talking about how to get rid of those off days because I think that cycles are a healthy part of life, and I know that maybe some people are always in cloud nine every day, but for some of us we have really happy days and we have days when we're just down in the dumps. So during those days when you're down in the dumps, how can you actually have a better time? The first thing is look for the pattern and actually track it. So you can just use your journal and over the next 2 months, 1 to 2 months, track your mood every day. Just have a look and see, are there days when you tend to be happier? Are there days when you tend to be lower? For some women, we tend to be very sad or down in the dumps a few days before the menstrual cycle. And if you find that this is a pattern for you, then track your period on a calendar so that you know that, okay, this coming month on these particular days, if I'm having a difficult time being motivated and doing what I need to do, that will be okay. So track it on a calendar, plan for it so that you just are aware that during that time you're not able to do hard things, you're not starting on new and difficult projects, you're not trying to do what I call conquering the world and smashing your goals. You're pretty much resting during that time because you've planned for it. But if you track your mood and find that there's no pattern, then that's okay too, because I know that as individuals we're all different. The second thing is recognize that off days are normal and they're temporary. They're not here to stay. Those days when you don't want to do anything and you're unmotivated, they're simply passing. It's your body going through a phase on your way to wherever you're going. So instead of making it about you and instead of feeling bad about it, just be really gentle and acknowledge that, you know what? This too shall pass. Life feels and seems really cloudy today. That's okay. I'm sure tomorrow is going to be better. So just know that this too shall pass. It's temporary. There's nothing wrong with you. You're okay. The next thing is make sure you're having extra rest during this time. So nothing like a good night's sleep to help you feel better. The other day, my friend's baby was not feeling well, and she slept for a solid 11 hours, which is very much unlike her. But the moment she woke up, she was 70% way better than how she was before. And I was like, wow, it's amazing how just resting the body gives you a chance to just rejuvenate. And, sometimes we don't get enough sleep because we're so connected all the time. We're so busy because right now, if you have a car, if you have friends, if you're on social media, you've got a phone, you're usually just running from one place to the next. But just stopping and having extra rest will do you wonders. So make sure you're sleeping more during this time. Just sleep without an alarm. So during your off days, when you're feeling off, make sure you have a full night's sleep and take a few naps during the day as well. Number 4 is nurture yourself through self-care, and it doesn't have to cost money. So maybe run a bath, light some candles whilst you're doing that, go for a walk in the park, get as much fresh air as you can. And this self-care will help just nurture you, take care of you. It will help make you feel better. The 5th thing you can do to have those better off days is call a good friend and just take some time to just chat with them, tell them how you're feeling. It really helps, I know, especially for us as women, when we talk to someone who understands what we're going through, because they're just there to listen. They're not offering you any solutions, but the more you talk about your feelings and what you're going through, the more it just helps you process, because usually during this time, there's some negative thoughts that are coming up, and usually you're looking down upon yourself, you're doubting yourself, the life choices you've made. I call it gunk, which tends to come up during these off days when you're feeling off. But just talk to a friend about it and you realize it's a form of free therapy when you just share your feelings with somebody else. Number 6 is give yourself grace. So instead of bashing yourself down and just self-hating, that's what I hear most women say, that when I'm going through this time, I just hate myself. I feel like a failure. I'm not doing anything. I'm not making progress. But I want you to give yourself grace. After reading Louise Hay's work, a statement that I tend to use is, even though I feel unmotivated and down right now, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And repeating this statement will just help you know at a deeper subconscious level that you're okay, you're loved, even if you're feeling as if you're broken, even if you're feeling inadequate right now, you're not performing at your best, but you can deeply and completely love and accept yourself through that. And I've seen that in itself is a way that helps me feel so much better afterwards, because then I'm like, okay, I'm not feeling bad about feeling bad and making it worse, but I'm loving and accepting myself right here, right now, where I am. So try it next time when you're having an off day. Just try telling yourself that even though you're feeling how you're feeling, you deeply and you completely love and accept yourself. I find that it tends to shorten the lifespan of that low mood, because then immediately I give myself what I needed. Number 7 is eat healthy and drink plenty of water. I would advise avoiding junk food, even though you'd really feel like eating junk food, but maybe try and avoid it a little bit, because what happens with junk food is it just makes you feel worse. But when you eat healthy, you drink lots of water, you help your body recover, and you bring up those positive emotions that come from healthy nourishment. Because sometimes the negative emotions we go through are a result of the unhealthy processed foods that we eat all the time. But when you actually have fruit, veggies during this time, plenty of water, it just helps you through this process as well. So try and eat healthy and see what that does for you. Number 8 is make sure you get plenty of fresh air. Even if you're not exercising, just sit outside in the sun, just sit outside with a friend, just go for a short walk, not for the sake of exercise, but I find that just being out in the fresh air just helps reset everything. It helps my mind think more positively. It helps pull me out of that funk as well. Number 9, and this one is so important, is take some time to journal through the negative thoughts and emotions that are coming up for you during this time. Just write it down. Just write down whatever is coming up, however you're feeling, the judgmental thoughts, put them up on paper, because I find that when you put things down on paper, it's actually a way of processing. And sometimes when thoughts are in your head, they feel very heavy and intense. But when you write it down, you'll be like, what? No, not true. This is not true. I am not crap. I am not, all those things that come up on your off days is like, oh my gosh, I'm a bird person. I'm not doing well. I'm behind in life. I am lacking. I'm not worthy of good things. All those things that come up, just write them down. And as you see them on paper, you can be like, what? That is not true. So journaling is such a powerful way of working through your negative thoughts during those times when you're feeling off. Lastly, if those negative emotions and feelings persist past a few days, it might be time to get some professional help and counseling. And sometimes this can also be a sign of some underlying conditions. It might be anxiety and depression. It might be a sign of burnout. You might be overwhelmed and it might be time for change. So really, if you find that these negative feelings and emotions are persisting, then maybe it might be pathological and you need help beyond just all these tips that I've given you. So there you go, guys. Those are the 10 ways to make sure that you have better off days. Let me know in the comments below, when you're having those days when you're feeling off, what do you do in order to feel better? And what's your best takeaway from this episode? Thank you so much for watching. My name is Lorraine and I'll see you next time.